Hello and welcome, and thank you for coming to this very special edition of my live stream for the day, Halloween with Granny. Today we're going to do some cooking, and we're going to do some costumes, and we're going to do some crafts, and we're going to do some makeup, and we're going to show off decorations. And I did a cooking demonstration, and I made a pre-recorded video of it, and we'll be showing that too. And I have some very special guests with me today that I've not had on before. First, we have Godless Sewing.
Hello, I'm Godless Sewing. How's everybody doing?
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Godless Sewing.
I'm doing great. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. For a living, I work with special needs adults. During this past year, I've actually had a lot of time, because of the quarantine. So I've gotten more into my sewing. I make battle vests. I make jackets. It started off as like work uniforms because I was an independent contractor painting, and I would make my own uniforms and these eccentric things because I know how to sew, and it kind of blossomed from there. And it was one of those things that just hasn't gone away over the years.
Okay, very good. And we have Robin. Robin's been on occasionally before. Robin is my son. Say hello, Robin, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, not much to tell. I'm just kind of here. Anyone who gets what this is a costume of gets like all the praise.
All right, 1,000 points. We'll open it up. Anyone in the chat know what Robin is wearing? What the costume is? Okay, and is it pronounced Jyuni? Am I saying it right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. And Jyuni, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so a little bit about myself. I just started my channel about I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks ago. You can definitely check that out. It's Jyuni the Apostate. If there's a link in the description below, it'll be really great. Fairly considered. And then personally, I'm a father. I'm also considered gender fluid, and I also work as a dental assistant. So, any dental questions? Oh, and because we're in the Halloween season, I figure I'd also talk about a little bit about my past history. Is that I used to work as a I don't know if anybody's ever been to a haunted attraction or has worked in a haunted attraction.
Worked in the what?
A haunted attraction, like a haunted house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I used to work in Dream Breakers, I want to say 2 years back. And unfortunately, it's closed. Otherwise, I'd still be doing it. So I've got some history in doing, makeup, costumes, and even acting, and even some decorations as well.
Very good. And Kitty, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kitty.
Well, Kitty the Atheist. I had wanted to start a channel, and then life and COVID and all this other stuff. So I instead focused on sewing masks for a bunch of people, but I still like getting to know people in the community. I do intend to eventually start my own channel, but homeschooling my son, partially because of his special needs and partially because of COVID, and making masks for people kind of takes up a lot of my free time. So eventually, I enjoy doing makeup. Like, I haven't actually done as much with eyeshadow. Like, I'm actually newer with that. Like, I have done special effects makeup. I used to work with some friends that they were Valencia and Full Sail students, and we would do little indie projects and stuff. And so I would be in charge of craft services, and I would also be helping with the special effects makeup. So doing simple prosthetics, making edible blood, and that kind of thing. Like, I can make a killer bruise, but, winged eyeliner took me a long time to master, and I'm still not 100% yet. I'd have to go in there with the micellar water and wipe it away and then fix it. So, Robin, don't feel bad. Like, seriously, I still have trouble.
Yeah.
But, no, thank you again for having me. And I'm excited for this Halloween. It is literally my favorite holiday. So
Cool.
Halloween.
Cool. Okay, who would like to go first?
That is the question.
Robin, let's let you go first. Show us all of your Halloween decor, and this for you is not just Halloween. You keep this decor up all year round, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I love Halloween stuff. Halloween is my favorite because you can go to different stores and they all just have cool, weird stuff. I got this from Walmart for like $3 because it's terrible and I love him. He doesn't have a name yet. He needs one. But
Okay.
he's just a bit of garland on some wire, and I love him.
If anyone in the chat would like to name him, oh shoot! You know what I just realized? I forgot to post that we were doing this on Twitter, and
Yeah.
I was wondering why do we not have very many people? And suddenly I didn't post it, so I am going to let Kitty take over and talk for a bit while I go put some posts up.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh goodness. Okay. I really do love that bat, Robin. Like
Yeah.
Halloween is absolutely my favorite holiday. Like I've got my Jack and Sally nails,
Ooh.
and actually you might get a kick out of my
Oh, that's
Ouija
awesome.
board pillowcase.
Yeah.
Did you make
Like
that?
it's got, no, I got it for like $10 on Amazon.
I do the same thing. I
Like
Amazon a lot of stuff.
honestly, well, because it's printed on the fabric. Like I could sew one, but sewing all those letters on there, if I were going to like make it an actual thing, come on, nobody's got time for that. I mean, well, some people do, obviously, because they
I
make
do,
stuff like
but
that.
it
But this is
takes
printed.
weeks. Like I do stuff like that, but like it'll take weeks and weeks to
Yeah.
make that.
And I do not have the time for that kind of thing at all. But like literally Halloween is my favorite holiday. I can't really put up decorations right now because my son is still in the very destructive phase. So like to me, like it's Halloween all year round in my heart, you know. So I'm with Robin on that one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when it comes down to it, like I'm really bummed that we can't do trick-or-treating this year, you know, like once again.
So in
COVID
my
sucks the life out of everything.
neighborhood, I live in a high I guess you could say Mormon area, and they're having an anti-Halloween. So my neighbors are basically involuntarily forcing everybody to participate in Halloween. And
That's weird.
I was told like 3 days ago. They're like, and, you know, it's one of those suggestive things where it's like, we're not going to let the government tell us what to do, right? But if it was anything else that was out of their realm, they wouldn't even talk to me or ask me to participate, you know. But because I live in the area, so it's going to be really. And my son has autism, and he's with his mother on the weekends, and so he's going to be at his mom's house. Like I'm going to be that angry old man with the door closed this year because I have asthma, and I don't think people realize that COVID is real, you know. And it'll kill someone like me. So I'm not even playing. My son does homeschooling as well. He may not go back even next year to see, depending on who's in charge and what's going on. So
Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting.
I get that. I really do.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Oh, I love that name. Yeah, he's now Lord Succubus of the High Tree.
Okay, very good.
That's
The
good.
bat has a name. The Lone Wanderer has named the bat for us. Very good. Okay.
Awesome.
And I got a few tweets up, so hopefully we'll be getting a few more people coming in. Sorry, I'm just having a few minor issues today.
I almost thought that's a really good name. It goes really well. Yeah, that actually goes really well with the most complicated name of them all, who I actually forgot. I need to go grab him. But my favorite stupid Halloween decorations
I know. I'm going to jump away in a second and grab a couple of that.
Okay.
is the super terrible, evil, villainous executioner,
Oh, that's great.
Steve. His
That's
name is Steve.
amazing.
Steve.
You gotta love Michaels and their weird dragons. You have such nice dragons.
Honestly, Michael's like Please, if I ever win the lottery and get to build my dream house, it's going to look like a haunted mansion, and it will be Halloween year round.
Oh, definitely.
I will clear out their Halloween section of all of the stuff, like the little witches books and the cauldrons and the skeletons and the little jars. Oh, it would be so great.
You know where is a weirdly good place to get witches and weird Halloween decorations? There's antique shops. Specifically, there were some ones around Dollywood that they just had an entire display case full of witches, and I bought one. The paint on it is a little but actually I should
you can always touch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just
every
had
year
just this entire case full of expensive, fancy witches.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
And they're just
I really
gorgeous.
like that.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing. I wasn't planning on buying anything that trip, but then suddenly there were just a case full of witches, and I needed it.
Hey, that's fair.
I was about to say, I go off when I see anything I like. I buy too many of them in the same way.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say every year, towards the last day of October or the day after October, or Halloween, yeah. I always tell myself that I'm gonna buy all the decorations that are on sale, and do I ever get to do it? Either I'm working or everything's gone.
So I live near a 99-cent store, and over the past, I want to say 10 years, I've accumulated so much Halloween stuff. I think I've bought everything that they have to offer. So, it's one of those things you could slowly build it up,
Oh, that's the dream.
Right.
Right now I just got a bat and a couple of weird animals.
Well, what about your lamp?
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. I keep having to get up. I keep forgetting that I have 4 pigs. This gorgeous lamp I found on Amazon. It is a tomb. It has, where are the bats? It has bats. Oh, this lamp is gorgeous. And,
Do you mind bringing that up a little closer so I can?
Oh, definitely. It's the.
Oh my gosh.
Part.
That's awesome.
There's the lampshade.
Oh, I didn't see that the first time.
Yeah, it's so
The
cool.
lampshade absolutely makes it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what drew me to it. Because I was looking at Amazon has a lot of good weird goth lamps, but this one had the weird lampshade. So
the rule with Amazon is if you see it, buy it, because things come and go and disappear all the time off of Amazon.
Definitely.
We actually bought that one twice because the first one came broken.
That's the worst. You get so excited for something, you wait for it to get there, and then it's broke.
Yeah.
I recently ordered a hammock. No,
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. In the beginning of the year, I ordered a hammock in January, and I didn't get it until 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow!
I forgot. I honestly had this big heavy box at my door, and I'm like, it had my name on it, so I took it, and I completely forgot I ordered a hammock. And summer's almost over.
Yeah. It's the delays in the mail that, especially during the summertime, it's maybe 2 months to even get a package, depending on where you got it from.
Exactly. And something like this, I ordered this. I don't know if you can see it. This patch, this top patch, I ordered it and it came within 2 weeks. But I ordered a patch from the same company and it took 2 months to come to the house. So, I will say, as someone who has an extreme Amazon addiction, this year the mail in general has slowed. Name a company. I thought UPS was infallible, and I don't like the driver anymore because he comes with excuses.
Caden says 90% of my skull decorations are real animal skulls.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
the
part
rest
of
of the comment is because skulls make awesome decor.
I remember Voltaire did a video on how to make a really, really nice picture frame with chicken bones. And I kind of wanted to make it, but I didn't want to buy that much chicken.
So, Kitty, why don't you show us a little bit about makeup?
Yeah, I was just sending my partner to go grab some stuff because I forgot my makeup bag, but it's fine. I can demonstrate a little bit with my wand brushes.
Okay.
They're literally like Harry Potter wands, and I love them. Okay, so essentially, there's different brushes that are used for different things. Thank you, my love. Oh, fuck, that's heavy. But there are different brushes that are used for different things. You have some that are meant for packing the color on. And I found that if I start with a slightly lighter color than what I'm going with and cover the whole area here that I'm going to be working on and then build it up. So like I started with a lighter brownish red and then built up with, gray to darken it in areas and then a little bit more red because I felt it muted it out and then black. And I'm just kind of like using a brush to apply the color and then using a different one to kind of soften the lines by basically going through and smoothing it out so there aren't any harsh lines. And the great thing about doing a vampire look, as I was saying before we went live, is you don't have to worry about fallout, because if you get a little bit under your eye, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be bringing the colors that you use up here under your eye as well to give that sunken in, like, hungry vampire look. Contouring is also important, and basically I went really heavy on the contouring here, which you can see when I turn my face to the side. I was essentially just carving out my cheekbones to give that more like sunken in. I wouldn't normally go as much with the contouring, but it slims the face and it gives a more like sunken in appearance here and here, and then using highlighter up here to highlight the cheekbones. I also mixed in a little bit of white makeup with my foundation to overall lighten my skin because I'm pale, but I'm not usually quite this pale. And I also did some contouring on the sides of my nose to kind of thin it out a little bit. And under my chin and jawline here. So contouring went down here and it went underneath here to kind of give that more like sharp angularness because I have a relatively soft looking face. So I needed more angles. Also, there's a little bit of contouring here at my forehead as well. And then there's some highlights underneath my my eyebrow. A little highlight on the tip of my nose, but most of the highlight is right here, which maybe if I get some more light in here, well, that's going to wash me out too much. But let's see if I can turn this in a way that gives a bit more light. A little bit. But essentially, yeah, that's going to just not help. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so the highlighter that I use, actually, I don't use super expensive makeup products because honestly, I don't really see the need. There's plenty of things like the eyeshadow palette that I used is this one here, and I literally got it from Walmart. It's Slither in the DMs. Like the palette itself was like maybe $10 at Walmart, and it's got reds and it's got red, purple, black, some sparkly colors, some matte colors, and it's essentially I use this palette, and then I use an orangish brown from another palette that I have that I got forever and a day ago. And this stuff when doing makeup is your friend. Micellar Water. If you make a mistake, this stuff is like a magic eraser for it. So when doing winged eyeliner, if you mess up, this stuff on a Q-tip will just take it right off. It's great. And then for the lips, what I did is I actually did a combination of two colors. If I can find the other one. Oh, here it is. I took a lip brush that I have, and I lined the outside of my lips with the black. And then I did the inside with red so that it would go together to give not quite as intense as black, but a lot more like color pop and, a vamp look than doing... I didn't want just red and I didn't want just black. So I mixed the two together and I think that it came out quite well, actually. Also, false lashes may be a bit intimidating, but like with a little bit of practice, they are your friend. They will tie a look together, and if you get really, really big ones, like I did here, even if you mess up on your eyeshadow a little bit, no one's going to notice because you've got these big lashes that are just taking up like all that space. Same thing for if you mess up on your winged liner. False eyelashes will help cover that because the eyelash itself, when you're looking just straight ahead, the way they want to curve usually will give almost like a faux winged liner. So, there's that. The highlighter that I used was from Wet n Wild. Again, just something you can get at Walmart, and it's super duper shiny. Like, it comes in a little thing here, and you really only need a little bit. Like, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. Like, I don't know if you can see how shiny that is. Probably not, because I don't have the best lighting in here, but it's super duper shiny. It's not the best camera and not the best lighting, but as for the vampire fangs, those I actually got at Spirit, and it's a kit that has a dental epoxy, essentially, and you figure out how you want it to fit and which teeth you want it on. Then you mix up the epoxy and put it in there, and it kind of oozes out as is in there. It doesn't taste very good, warning, but you leave it in place for about 15 minutes or so, and then you pop them out and let them set, and it takes up to 24 hours for it to fully harden. But if you fitted them properly, then you can pop them in and out, and I can drink, I can talk, and they're not going anywhere, and they're just little fangs that are capping 2 of my teeth. So
those are awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's practice, and doing an undead like vampire look is a really good one to start with, because if you mess up, you can just blur it all out and make it look more sunken, and, doing a zombie would actually probably be even easier than a vampire, because zombies don't have to look sexy at all. But, like zombies are ace. Like, it's one of those things. They're not worried about anything. Like vampires,
Don't make a
like,
zombie look hot.
Hey, but you know what? Like, zombies have, to my
I've seen
knowledge,
that
show
movie.
no
It wasn't
interest
that
in getting down and getting busy. So,
Yeah.
gotta
Hey, there are
respect
ace
them.
people can look good too.
I'm not
Excuse you,
saying
I'm
they can't.
gorgeous.
I'm not saying they can't. Oh, yeah, Cadence has worn these things before. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. And surprisingly, I mean, they make it a little bit difficult to talk, but not enough that it's an issue. It's not like the ones that, like, you just have to kind of, like, hold over, or, like, the bitey down, like, plastic ones. They're, it makes a few things more difficult, like blotting your lips together when doing lipstick. Yeah, that's not fun with these, because it's a little awkward. But I didn't want to be putting the fangs in after I'd worked so hard on getting my lips done. So I was like, all right, I'll make it work somehow.
When I was a kid, we had those really big plastic ones, and
yeah,
I
I saw
remember that
those
when
at
we
the
wore.
Halloween store too. I almost got some just for the nostalgia.
Well, the bad thing about them was they just made you salivate the whole time.
Exactly.
You couldn't
Yeah.
stop.
When fitting these, you literally have to, like, do this with your lips and lean your head back so that you don't drool. It's not sexy at all fitting these things. They look great once they're in, but getting them fitted is not sexy. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, I started with foundation and moisturizer, then I worked on getting my eyes done, and then I did the contouring, and I saved the lips for last, because, like, fangs in and then lips. Although I probably could have put them in after, because this lipstick's pretty good about staying in place. But yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, like, I'm happy to answer them. But, aside from going through the whole thing and taking this whole show to literally go step by step and demonstrate, with false lashes, make sure that you give the glue some time to dry before you put them in place. You don't want super wet glue, or it'll just smear all over. and make a mess and they won't stay in place. You want it to start getting tacky. So it's a thin layer of glue on the false lashes, and let it sit for like 30 seconds to a minute before you start putting it in place. Because once it starts to get tacky, then you have plenty of control where you need to get it, and it's not going to just like slip out of place or, smear glue on your eye.
Yeah, the one time I wore false lashes, it was a disaster.
Yeah, no, if you ever need help, DM me and I will walk you through it. And like I said, even I make mistakes. I had to pop this one off and put it back on because I had shifted a little too far to the outside. And so it was just pull it off, put on more glue, and put it back. It's really not hard at all.
Well, my main problem is I've never worn false lashes. I've never known anyone who wore false lashes. I was like, I don't need to look up a tutorial on how to put these on. You just put the glue on it, put it on your eye. How hard could it be?
Yeah, makeup can be tricky.
The pain people go through to look good is scary sometimes.
Yes. But these lashes, I love these lashes. They are super fluffy and super long.
They are gorgeous. They are gorgeous.
And they're really, really soft. Really soft. They feel almost like feathers. It's the weirdest thing, but they are super soft. And again, they make your eyes pop, and they can help cover up, if you don't have perfect eyeliner, it doesn't really matter because the lashes draw your attention and they give you a little false wing anyway with the way that they just curve at the edges.
Awesome.
Okay. Godless Sewing, we'll let you go next. What would you like to show us?
I have a couple of things. I'm one of those people where it is Halloween year round. At this point, I don't even know what you would call it. If I'm not wearing black, people are like, "Are you okay? What's going on today? How's it hanging?" But this jacket, I don't know if it's gonna do it any justice, but each piece is a different piece around the face, but the face was part of a t-shirt, and for some reason it really pops on pictures. And I do a mixture of I call it my crappy patch with normal patches. I have a weird conglomerate of styles of things that I put on my coats. But it's one of those things that this time of year, my coats, they start making more sense.
I'm trying to figure out how to... There we go.
There you go.
That looks amazing.
I love it.
Things like this, they don't take that long, but it's something that I love to do. So it just kind of happens, And because I'm all about function over fashion, you can actually put your hand in the pocket on that one.
Oh, nice.
And I'm big on details, so I try to stitch on the inside of the coat.
Gorgeous.
I love that so much.
It's just something because I'm always at home because my son has autism, and he has therapy, and they kick me out of the room. They're like, get out of here, Dad. Go do something with yourself. And
I know that exact thing.
And I'm a Hubbard parent, so I've fallen back into my hobby of making battle vests and battle coats. And something like this, each piece is from a different from a different shirt or from an old ripped coat, or it's always something, because I'm big on recycled materials, because as human beings, we're destroying this planet,
Mm-hmm.
And
Man, Matt would die
I
for
love
that.
that so much.
That's why I'm extremely excited that winter's coming back around. And
Now, do you sell some of these things maybe on Etsy or?
Well, the problem is have you ever seen the show Counting Cars with the count? Well, there's this guy that he fixes up classic cars, and he makes them brand new. And every time there's a really beautiful one, he's like, I'm going to keep it. And he drives it home. The problem is a lot of these are personal, I've sold a few, but I sell more plain coats. And I give a lot of coats away to homeless shelters, because at one time in my life, I was down and out. and I've really made something of myself in the past 15 years. So I try to give back because, you know, I truly believe that this is the only life that we have. So instead of talking about it, I'm one of those people, like, talk is cheap, you know, because anybody could say anything. So for as much as like all the coats I have, I give away like 3 times this much because I know how it is to like be struggling and just need a coat during the winter just to get back and forth to work and just stupid things like that. But this one, I didn't necessarily construe it as something that was anti any religion. But recently, somebody, they didn't necessarily try to fight me, but they attempted to. They attempted to fight me because they were not excited because they thought I was depicting their religion in a bad way. But the truth is, to me, it's just a shirt because I'm from America, and you know, we don't. At least in California, people don't wear their religion like that. Give me a quick.
Is it because of the crescent moon there?
Yeah. And
Okay.
also people misconstrue. I'm half black and half Mexican, and people think I'm other races, and so they'll walk up to me and say things, or you know, it happens. It's honestly happened in the past, like in 5 years, more than it's ever happened in my life. I think people have become more polarized, and they pay attention to details that didn't matter. Like I don't know. To me, because I grew up in such an integrated society, like I look at like. I don't know. People are people. As long as you're nice, I'll be nice to you. You know, it's one of those things. Give me a quick second. I'm gonna grab some more stuff because it's a museum in here. So hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Definitely showing.
Not gonna address the chat, which no, not Final Fantasy, more obscure. I'm trying to decide if I just want to talk about the comic this is from or no, but you know, no. Chat. It's from the Conspiracy Research Club. It's a really good webcomic. If you're into horror, well, not really horror. Oh, yeah, horror. Light horror. So good.
Yeah. Was that for your costume?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really easy. I just had this hoodie, and so all I had to do was find a white shirt and a black tie and a skirt.
Is that size tie?
No, this is Dad's.
Okay.
I stole it.
Do you actually know how to tie a tie?
No, that is why it looks like this.
No, look, I never learned. I never learned.
This actually looks more accurate, though.
See, I had to learn. I was in JRTC, and like I personally didn't have to wear a tie. I had a special little like collar thing to wear with my uniform. But as a cadet officer, I had to help make sure everybody else's uniforms were up to code, so to speak. So I would be reprimanded if any of the people underneath me didn't have their uniforms on properly. So I had to tie their shit for them if they didn't know how.
I come from a military family, and it's one of those things where I was the last, and I was always, I'm a born asthmatic, so it was known that I was never going to join the military. So, like, they just didn't, that was one thing I never got taught, you know, amongst other things. But I have more because I've, you know, in the past 8 months, I have turned my middle bedroom and my garage into a giant closet with a sewing machine in the middle. Because, you know, it's better than terrorizing people and not wearing masks. So this one I made a while ago, and I don't wear this one as much. I was a motorcycle enthusiast, and I got in a really bad accident, and so it kind of stopped that for a while. But I still ride motorcycles. I didn't stop. I didn't like get scared and stop. I'm because I'm from the 90s. I have this obsessive compulsive thing about Slayer. I've seen them probably like 6 or 7 times in person. And it's just one of those things I thought I would grow out of it, but it's ironic because I still listen to it after all these years. And I because I live in LA County, I can get some of the coolest Day of the Dead stuff. And I tried not to get political, but I have this thing, like I just don't, because I own a business, I see how people rip people off and don't pay taxes, and how big business gets away with it. So people that wash money are. So this is an old aborted t-shirt that I kind of sewed the faces over. Bad angle. But this is
that is awesome, though.
One of my,
I love that.
This is I used to wear this to work all the time, and because I live in a LA County is a really funny place. It's really open. It's one of the most LGBT friendly places I've ever been, but I live in an extremely stuffy area. So I like this because my clothes, people leave me alone. So the wrong people. It's definitely fundamental Christian repellent, because the fundamental Christians have definitely tried to move into the Los Angeles area in droves. And the funny thing is, if you look close at that, that's a camera. It looks like a gun, but it's a camera. Amongst many of my hobbies, photography is a hobby of mine. So I try to have my jackets represent who I am. I have this real thing where I don't like people like that. They pretend to be things that they're not. So I just try to show people who I am. And this one I used to wear every day. I'd call it my skin. This one.
I love the Dunning-Kruger patch. That's great.
it always, the Dunning-Kruger definitely gets reactions from people. That's the one where I was first wearing a coat and I was walking down the street and someone was like, "Hey," and it's usually like, "Hey, you suck," but it was like, "Hey, that's nice," and I was like, "Thank you," because it's hit or miss where I live.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of like people stopping you for the way you look, oh. Goodness, I know I've probably told this story on one of Godless Granny's streams before, but I don't care because it's such a ridiculous story. I got called a Satanist in a Chick-fil-A once.
Oh,
and it was so many not even a Satanist. This dude who was like working there, he was wearing the uniform. I was there with my band, but I wasn't with them at the moment. He just walks up to me and he taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Do you know where Satan is?" I was like, "What?" He was just really aggressive about it. Asking, "Is he here? Do you know where Satan is?" And I was,
people approach men way, they approach people differently than they would approach somebody else, because people, that's why I try to dress menacing, because I don't present that too much. So I wear like clothes that have fingers on them. So people generally leave me alone. So I don't get like stupid questions like that from people. But,
yeah, I mean, I was wearing like full goth makeup. I was wearing cat ears. I don't know what made him think that I would know where Satan is. Or
you were wearing this cape.
Oh yeah, of course, also the cape. But it was just why would you say that to someone? That's just so weird.
We live in a fragile era, and I think it's one of those things. It's anything that's not me is scary, so it's Satan.
Yeah.
I live in an area with a lot of evangelical Christians, Mormons, a lot of Jewish people, and it's just a bunch of people shunning each other, really. And when I go to Los Angeles, it's an open city. Everybody's kind of talking, and it's funny how it's like a different world 20 miles from here, Did
you see the comment? Oh, go ahead. Godless Sewing from Aunt Jur?
I see Godless Sewing. Okay, so Purple thought I was a woman. Stool thought I was a woman as well, but I give Stool respect because he treated me like garbage no matter what. So I give Stool respect, but yes, people are shocked when they find out that. And yeah, I made all these drapes. I made, I sew for real. I sew.
I've been doing a lot of sewing too. My sewing machine is literally right here. Like I am touching it right now.
Awesome.
Well, since the pandemic started, I've sewed over 300 masks and given them away.
I saw that, honestly. Like, if you haven't been commended, I think that's awesome because
Oh,
like
people tell me that all the time, and I'm like, no, like it's the right thing to do. I've got high risk people in my life. I mean,
Exactly.
when I'm no longer asthmatic. My asthma went away when I switched from smoking to vaping. But when I got swine flu back in, what was it, 2010, I think, I spent a week in the hospital with asthma-related complications.
Oh yeah.
COVID goes after the lungs. My son is autistic. He won't take medication at all. He got the flu last year, and they gave me Tamiflu for him, but he wouldn't take it. The only thing I can do is Tylenol suppositories if he gets a fever. That's it. Because for whatever reason, he's okay with medicine in his butt, but he won't swallow medicine. I don't understand it. I don't.
Autistic children are so particular. It's funny.
Weird and different, and I love him. I wouldn't change him, but when it comes down to it, worries me, especially since whenever he gets sick, it settles in his lungs, and then he needs a nebulizer with albuterol to help clear it up, and I don't want to take the risk. So I was using my hand-me-down sewing machine, and I made it through about 70 masks before the old girls started to give out. Like, it was just not able, even with a brand new needle, it was not able to get through those fabrics without, just jamming up. So I was like, crap, what am I going to do? A mutual friend of Godless Granny and me, I told them, I was like, what am I going to do? And like, you could do a GoFundMe. So I was like, I don't know. And then they pointed to some stupid GoFundMes for other things. And they're like, you're trying to help people. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I did the GoFundMe, and I was looking for $300 to get the new sewing machine. And it surpassed the goal in 24 hours. So the rest went to getting extra supplies. And I will be forever thankful, because when the pandemic's over, I still have an amazing sewing machine that I can do fun stuff with that has nothing to do with masks.
And what, though, in America, we're going to be wearing masks for a while, because even where I live, people are respecting it. And just the other day, I saw someone not wearing a mask, and at my job, we've gotten hordes and hordes of masks, and honestly, it's helped because we have 108 disabled adults that, and right now they're isolated, so they're kind of mad at the world too because they can't.
Understandably.
But people who make masks are seriously good people in my book, because people don't understand that COVID is real. We will be wearing masks for a while. And someone like me, I'm happy I just never have to shake hands with people again.
If there's one thing that I'm hoping that this pandemic gives us, it's, an attitude more like Asia when it comes to when you're sick, wear a mask to protect others.
Very much so.
Like, it would make flu season so much better. I mean, still get your flu shot, don't get me wrong, but I mean, flu shots aren't 100%. If you get a flu shot and you wear a mask, you are doubly protecting, yourself and others, especially if other people are doing it as well. Because, masks are mostly about protecting others from your germs. But when it comes down to it, that's one thing that I hope sticks around. So I will probably still be making masks, but not, only masks. Like, aside from a couple of pillowcases I've made, I haven't done any sewing but masks. That and a little pouch that I made out of scraps for my my earbuds, like the little case that charges them. It's kind of derpy. I was trying to see proof of concept. I'm going to make another one out of other scraps, but I had some scrap fabric and a hair tie that I stitched in so that I could loop it onto my chain wallet, because whenever I go out, I wear jeans, and I have a chain wallet with a pentagram on it, and it's got a little hook on it, so I can loop that on, and then I've got my little Bluetooth earbuds right there and with easy access. And so, like, I've done a couple little projects like that, and made a seat cushion for my partner so that the chair was a little more comfortable that he was sitting in. But aside from a couple pillowcases, which don't take very long at all to make, I haven't made anything but masks. And like, I've got other projects lined up that I wanted to get done, but I have to pace myself because, I'm also disabled. So like, I can get, overwhelmed with pain if I do too much, and I have to take it easy. So my days go from, taking care of my son, which I luckily have some help from my partners with that. So, that's great. And then sewing, and sometimes I have to take a couple days off of sewing because being hunched over the sewing machine, just going at it all day long, it's like sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna lean back in my chair that's got a footrest and comfy pillows to prop my legs up just right, and I'm gonna play some video games and just relax a little bit.
Okay, that's nice. Now, Jyuni, what do you have for us, Jyuni?
Yes, so I had a second presentation to do, but I guess I'm just gonna have to go with the small one for now. But first comes first is just the little bit about the Halloween and decorating in general. At first it came as like a Celtic festival to ward off ghosts and using the various crops and bonfires. And then eventually transitioned into what we know today. As soon as the immigrants from Scotland and Ireland came in to the U.S., bringing in their culture and then making Halloween popular. About I want to say the 19th century, and they used to use more of a disposable kind of decoration. So once the day hit, you would do the party and throw away, whatever was left over. It wasn't until more recently, as of I want to say the 60s, or where they started having a little bit more of something you can put away and then bring back every year, kind of like Christmas. And yeah, that's a little bit of a history of how decorating came to be. There's different levels of decorating, but first you got to also pick a theme, and that's always the fun part before going in. Is picking a theme, whether it be a gothic theme or the usual jack-o'-lantern, ghosts, witches, and all that. It can even go up to as severe as gory. Although I'm not as into the gory stuff as I was before, only because I just don't like the sight of another human being, being in torment. So if you're into that, then that's on you, really. But here's the first level the multiple levels that you can go at. First, you can work with what you got, and just like Godless Sewing, he used reuse and recycle, right?
Everything.
Yeah. I love that, man. I really appreciate that.
I noticed the waste in my area because people would donate clothes to my job and just getting clothes, giving them away, going and buying stuff from different thrift stores. And then I noticed how Goodwill, they buy bales of clothes and they don't even know what's in those bales sometimes. So if someone like me buys a bale, it actually goes to people instead of a company that's gonna, rip off their employees and everybody else while they're getting rich, So
right.
Just do my part.
No, that's good. I mean, I still don't understand the reason why thrift stores sell, especially if they're trying to get. Yeah.
It depends on the store, because some go straight to the employees, and that's a good thing. Goodwill, and I'm sure we've all heard horror stories of the I've recently heard horror stories of the Salvation Army, and I was shocked because I work with special needs adults. The Goodwill, I won't get into it too much, but they label special needs adults so they can pay them less. So they say, oh, you're this kind of worker, so they're literally getting paid half of what a normal person. Well, I don't like the label normal of what somebody else would be getting paid. We're all, especially if you're an able-bodied adult, you deserve to get paid for the job you're doing. And Goodwill definitely. I forgot the label. I'm gonna have to. I'm sure someone at the job is screaming right now because I completely. But it's always legally something that they can say to pay you half, basically.
I don't understand that. I think
that's in a progressive state, where we've fought for equal rights in every way here in this state. So,
oh my goodness,
it's an uphill battle.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can get your hands on things that are even around the house, especially in the times where like COVID, some of us just have uh, sworn not to go out or in public. It's best to use what you got or what's around you. Um, so whether it be like using a pillowcase or a shirt to stuff it in, yeah, and yeah, just use those old decorations from last year even better. Then the level two, it's kind of like if you do want to venture out in the stores and then you kind of want to stay in a budget level, go with the dollar store or like the cheap stuff like in Walmart. That's definitely something to look at.
You get you a $3 bat.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then you'd be surprised how how creative you can get. And you can even get the kids involved with some of these projects, especially like these like level 1, level 2, variations of decorations. And then, well, and as I mentioned earlier, sometimes I like to wait to the end of the month to get some of these specials, especially in these like specialty stores like Spirit Halloween or Halloween City, Party City, online shops, whatnot. They have incredible selections. Sometimes, I'm surprised with like what I can get. And unfortunately, I do kind of consider myself as like a hoarder in some of these things, but
there's nothing wrong with being a hoarder.
Yeah, well,
as long as you're not swimming through it, there's nothing wrong with being a hoarder.
Yeah, and also like I mean, there's a difference between cluttered and messy and gross. Like I mean, having a lot of stuff, like there's a lot of stuff behind me. I've got like my drawers full of fabric and sewing supplies here. My son's got his toys everywhere because he's like a tornado mixed with a hurricane. Like that's my life. Like clutter and tripping over toys is my life. But don't feel bad about that. Like nobody's perfect. Like there's literally like anybody who gets like uptight over that, like everything's got to be perfectly pristine. Like I don't trust them. Those kind of people scare me.
They're definitely overcompensating for something. Definitely.
No, if somebody's got like 2 kids and white carpet and it's spotless, I'm like, okay, they must be like, Stepford family or psychopaths or something. I don't trust it.
It's funny you'd say that. I have a rule, like even with my collectibles, if my son breaks something, I'm like, I say yes fue in Spanish. I'm like, oh well. I try not to own something that I will like get so mad about that if it broke. And honestly, all the stuff that I do, like I have an original TARDIS and stuff still in the box. I have it hidden, and I'm probably gonna end up selling it, So
okay. I have a video for us that I made of a Halloween dessert, and I am going to put that up. Okay, let's see. Nope, can't do it that order. All right, so we got to go share screen. There we go. I'm sorry about those spots on the picture.
I don't know. I don't think we hear any sound.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
I was just about to unmute to say that. Oops.
Ooh, 100 gram.
Oh, you heard that?
No, we can just see it.
You could see it. All right, let me pause it. Let me see if I can figure out why. Why do we not have sound on that?
Hey,
oh no, it's the space.
Here's the thing. It wouldn't be a granny video if there wasn't some sort of YouTube gremlin issue. Like any of your like live streams, like there's always like some tiny little gremlin, you know, and I love it. Like it's great.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah,
let's see if this
It was
works.
going,
I
it was going too
yeah.
smooth.
I had unfortunately like a I want to say a digital presentation to do as well, but I use OBS as like a streaming,
You still can't
but
hear
for
it.
some
Is it
reason the
working? You still can't
virtual
hear it?
didn't work.
Okay.
You had it before.
You had it before?
No, remember earlier, before we started, you
yeah.
when you turned it on.
How do I fix that?
Let's see.
Kind of glad I didn't wear my Star Trek uniform because it's from the 70s and it's all polyester. And I'm already starting to get hot in this Harry Potter clothes.
I mean, honestly, like I need to remake this. I got this on clearance at like a costume store, and it is very cheap, you know, just light, stretchy fabric, you know, and it's not perfect. Like there was a little like rip here when I got
here
it.
we
Like
go.
I think I'm gonna. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's
Jyuni.
cool. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Did you make those?
Well, I helped with some of these. Well, it helped meaning like painted some of these birdhouses that we found black. We wanted to make like a small little village, but instead of using like those Christmas ones, we will use these
Still no
birdhouses. We would
sound.
make-
Come on, why?
There's still no sound?
Yeah.
All right, just a minute, because I found the button for share audio, and I hit it this time. All right. Stop sharing. Share audio. Let's see. All right.
But I'm definitely gonna remake this dress. I'll use.
Is it working now?
I can hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a different brand, and it says 100 grand bar. You could use a different kind of candy if you wish. The main thing that you get from having the 100 grand bars is the caramel that's in the middle. So if you can't get 100 grand bars or $100,000 bars, you could use crunch bars, just a chocolate bar that has rice cereal in it, and chop up some caramel with it as well, because we're going to chop up these candy bars anyway. So you could just chop up some caramel and put it in. The caramel really does add something to the dish. So I would not go without any caramel at all. Okay, so the first thing we do is we need 4 1.5 ounce $100,000 bars. This is a package of fun size bars, and I don't even know how big each bar is, but it does say that the entire package is 4.5 ounces. So I know that I need all of one package plus a little less than half of the second package. Cooking is not an exact science, and especially not this dish. So if I have a little extra, it's no big deal. This is going to be the crust of the cookie. So if I have some extra, I'm just going to have a slightly larger crust. So the first thing I need to do is open all of the candy bars. And once all of the candy bars are open, then I need to chop them. You could probably use a food processor to do this. I have never used a food processor for this. If you do use a food processor, though, you would want it on a fairly large setting, like a chopped setting. We don't want fine pieces. We want pieces that are about that. So as you see, I'm doing 3 bars at a time. I've got this playing at 3 times speed in 2 different directions. And I am
making me hungry.
Oh, this is my childhood. I've never seen anyone else make this.
Where you use sane
Best thing ever.
I'm intrigued because aside from sewing and stuff, I love doing stuff in the kitchen, be it French macarons, fondant cakes, buttercream transfers. I love baking, and I am intrigued.
I make cornbread today. I cook Monday through Friday. When my son's here, I cook every
and
day.
I have my candy chopped.
So I love
The
baking.
next step is to make my filling. The filling is the richest part of this dessert. Now the filling is quite simple. It's just a package of chocolate
Unfortunately,
chips.
I didn't have the camera
Now,
quite
the
low
recipe
enough, and
calls
some
for
of the
milk
stuff
chocolate.
is
And
not
in the past, I have always
in the
used milk
picture
chocolate.
all that well.
But in my house,
But the instructions, you're
chocolate
telling us
chip
exactly what to do, so
this
it's
year I'm
fine.
doing something
Exactly.
a little bit different, and I'm using dark chocolate. In addition to
I
my
love dark
chips,
chocolate.
I need 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. This cup isn't completely full, but this is a 1 cup rather than a 3/4 cup. I have found that when measuring peanut butter, if you measure it exact, so much of the peanut butter sticks to the edges of the cup that you end up wasting a lot of peanut butter. So I use a slightly larger cup and then just kind of eyeball it so that it's not touching all of the edges of the cup. And then I don't have so much waste. Then I need to melt this in the microwave. When melting chocolate chips in the microwave, the secret is to not cook it too long before you check on it. If you know that it's going to take about 2 minutes to melt the chips, if you put it on for a full 2 minutes and wait the full 2 minutes, you're probably going to burn the chocolate. It's
I learned that the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
I learn that lesson all the time.
Yep, 30-second bursts. You never want to melt chocolate in the microwave for longer than 30 seconds at a time.
Every 30 seconds.
White chocolate's really hard to work.
Particular recipe glancing at this time says to do it every 15.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a little bit of time to melt, and then we'll stir it again. Another thing that I have figured out that I do slightly differently is that the recipe calls for crisp rice cereal. When I get to the next step where I stir the cereal in with the chocolate mixture, you have to keep stirring it until you completely coat the cereal if you want it to look exactly right. And as you see, my chocolate and peanut butter is starting to melt.
I mean, I suppose you could also melt it over a double boiler, but
You could.
one, it would take longer, and two,
So what I
like
started doing is
water
using
and chocolate. If you
like
accidentally get
Cocoa
steam in the
Krispies
bowl, it's not
instead
going
of
to end well.
Rice Krispies, or yeah, I'm using a store brand cereal. But by using the chocolate cereal, that way, if you don't get the cereal completely coated, you still get the brown color of the cereal.
That is a 200 IQ play, Granny, right there.
Wait, what are you doing?
Cereal.
Oh, yeah.
The recipe says to use
Oh.
creamy peanut butter because the center is smooth. It probably is better to use creamy peanut butter. But if you prefer a crunchy texture, there's really no reason why you couldn't use crunchy peanut butter. About another 15 seconds and we'll have this completely melted.
Yeah, I'm with Cadence. You're not wasting peanut butter if you lick the cup.
And next we add 1/3 of a cup of
Doomsday does waste the peanut butter.
And this is at 3 times speed again.
Wait, what kind of wait, is that what kind of
Go,
sugar is
Granny,
that?
go, man.
Powdered
You're
sugar.
tearing it up,
You're
man.
not messing around.
And now it's all nice and smooth. Next, we take those chopped candy bars
Oh,
and we add to it 3 cups of the cereal.
Cereal makes it. The cereal is the best part.
Like, I am excited to try this. It seems like it would be almost like the Muddy Buddies that you do with like the Chex Mix and the peanut butter, chocolate, and powdered sugar. Like, I'm thinking it would have vibes of that, but like high.
Together so we can
I need to write this down. I need some.
maybe have my pieces just a tad too
I need something new to make.
smaller, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah. On the comment that says, like, you could also use Nutella, I honestly think the only reason that we haven't specifically made it like that is because I don't like Nutella.
And get
Well, that'd be a reason not to.
I'm not a fan either. I'm going on that, Robin.
But Nutella is so good.
I understand. It just makes me nauseous. I don't know why.
If you stir this together and discover that it's not going to hold together, then I can always add a little bit more. You want to stir this to coat the cereal and the candy bars.
Whip it up, Granny.
Every time I think that,
I think she's tapped into the Speed Force.
of the
Yep.
other ingredients,
It was interesting putting this together and keeping the audio at one speed and putting the video at a different speed.
Now, the recipe that I'm
Have you ever
following-
done that before? Is this your first time editing a video like that?
I prefer to use a dinner plate.
Like
I
that,
use the dinner
yes.
plate
I've
because
edited
it has
videos
some
many
slight
times,
sides
but
to it,
never
and you do
putting
want some slight
different
sides to this.
speeds.
You
together.
could even use a pie pan.
I mean, it's looking great. It's amazing. Like way better than I could do.
I was about to
So
say, I'm trying to make videos, but I'm
Proud.
having problems because sewing is boring. So a video of me sitting there and so I try to fast forward through it.
Okay,
This is great editing.
this crust onto the plate.
This is where I've got it. The
Form it
plate
into a
isn't in the
crust.
picture enough.
That tool is a small spatula.
4 times speed.
yeah, definitely tap it into the speed force.
Yep.
You have it nice and flat and right to the edges. You want to build up an edge to it so that this is kind of a large cup.
Yeah, this thing tastes so good, but it's a little tedious.
Ways to make it
So you know what I'll do? I make a homemade Hershey's pie, like a chocolate mousse pie from scratch. I will record a video of making it, and when I do that, I'll shoot it over to you, Granny, and you can send it to Robin. Like that
Robin's favorite
is delicious, and it's not very heavy because it is, a mousse.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, I love mousse.
Robin home.
And I actually do a custard base for my mousse rather than messing with gelatin. My mousse, it starts with vanilla custard, and then you add chocolate, and then you fold in whipped cream. So it's very, very light, but it doesn't have like some mousses require gelatin for them to hold. This one, it's so just airy. It's great.
Make this a heart shape, and then decorate it with red icing instead of making it into a spider web. Now I have.
Oh, we've never done that.
No, I
and
haven't.
just spread that around.
But you could.
You don't.
I think it works better as a spider web though, with the brown syrup and the cereal.
Little cup that you've made, and that the indentation for this does not need to be that big because it, as you can see, there's a lot more crust than there is filling. And there you have it. Now I'm ready to decorate.
Awesome.
It looks so good. I want to try this.
I'm supposed to use gel. The original recipe that I used said to use glaze. I've always used glaze. I don't have any gel. I make my own glaze. I just have a small amount of powdered sugar in this cup. There's probably maybe 1/4 of a cup. You do not need much water to turn it into glaze. Just a few drops. And then I stir it. I want it thin enough that I can work with it, but not so thin that it's going to start looking clear rather than white. I want the white color. And that is the advantage of using the gel. It does have a nice white color to it. Now, if you do get your glaze too thin, just add some more powdered sugar.
Great tip.
And I did. I got my glaze too thin. I'm going to get some more. You don't want to use an eyedropper in the water because you really don't need much.
That's me making coffee in the morning. But how much sugar I put in.
Just pour it in.
Okay, I have
It's
my
a bad
glaze
habit.
ready. Now I'm ready to make my spider web. I have some cake
You
decorating.
could have done it with chocolate
I
ganache
actually
too,
have not
right?
used this before. I've never had it before.
Probably.
So this is a new experience for me as well.
Oh, I didn't know you got. Did Susan get you that?
No, I bought those on Amazon.
And then
Oh,
just
nice.
the glaze.
I love Amazon.
You want to make some circles.
Yeah.
on your spider
Yeah,
web.
you can't see it very well, but all you need is like 3 or
This
4
is where
circles, and they're
I'm not
just
the
ordinary
best.
circles.
Someone with some more decorating skills would be better at this portion of it.
Yeah, the only way I can think of to make it fancier would just be to like make it more of like an octagon, and even then, it's just a circle.
And once you've finished your circles, you can make a nice little spot in the center. Then take a knife.
Oh no.
And all you do with the knife is just cut from end to end about 4
Makes it look more
times.
like a spider web.
And that will change your circles into the web shape.
If you have some plastic spiders,
And there,
put a
you see the
plastic
web
spider or
shape.
two on top.
Oh, I love it.
That looks amazing, Granny.
All ready to serve treats.
That's phenomenal.
Did I not find any plastic spiders? Did I not have any plastic spiders?
If you
That's an
do
odd
have
decoration.
plastic spiders, I don't know where they are.
I have like everything but spiders.
I don't know where they are.
Oops.
I don't think I do. That's like the one Halloween decoration I don't have. I need spiders.
You know, those are like
It's a
the
spirit.
cheapest things to get.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here, I have a giant spider.
Do you have a spirit near you?
I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't be wanting to go out in the pandemic anyways, though.
This is true. But around here, they every year there's 2 different companies. There's like Halloween and Spirit, and they're only around from like the end of September until October 31st, and it is all Halloween stuff.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. It's actually where I got the false eyelashes I mentioned at one point. It was so nice, though. Spirit Halloween's makeup. Hit or miss. Definitely hit or miss.
Yeah, their fangs are good though.
Yeah.
They have
I don't know
good
if you've ever
accessories
tried their
too.
eyeshadow, but don't try their eyeshadow.
I mean, honestly, the eyeshadow that I get at Walmart like works really well. It's very well pigmented, and I mean, it could blend a little bit better, but I mean, it's not expensive eyeshadow, and like I don't care about perfection, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I've been using the same palette since I was 12 that I think Sibling got just because it was just brightly colored. I didn't think I thought I would outgrow it, but no.
nah, like all you need is just, you know, to practice like the smudged eyeliner and mascara, so you've got like that grunge, like punk boy look.
Yeah,
Boys with eyeshadow. I mean, come on.
definitely.
Ooh, Jyuni, what do you have there?
Yeah, so as I was talking about earlier, it was a project between myself and my family. It's so we were gathering just a couple of things that we can find around. So we found these spaces we were using for the garden, and what we did was like planted some seeds before we put them outside into a bigger pot. So we painted them black, and see, like my partner, she did this one here. My daughter did this one here, and I just did the black painting part. And just get some figurines if you can, just to give it a little bit of a town feeling as well.
Nice.
Yeah. This is like part of like the level 1 decorating, is like I was mentioning, just finding whatever you can around, and it's like, and there's my mini fog machine. I was going to show like a projector presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and since I'm using my phone, that's kind of out of the question because the projector is actually on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's whatever you got, it's just, if you can get the atmosphere right, even the simplest things can, be surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we've been going for an hour and almost 15 minutes. So is there anything else about Halloween? Any other crafts or costumes anyone wants to talk about or show off?
I mean, I've got my
Dry
stupid pumpkins, I
ice
forgot.
is your friend.
Okay. What was that, Kitty?
No, let Robin go first.
Okay.
Yeah, especially since this is 5 seconds, just because I forgot to mention pumpkins.
Oh,
They're my favorite thing, and I love them. They have spikes. They were also like $2. You can find the weirdest stuff at Target for or in Walmart for really cheap.
Those are adorable.
Yeah,
That's
they came in
awesome.
a set of 6. And they have black ones and white ones. They don't all have
that
spikes. They
black
don't all
one's
have
awesome.
purple spikes either. But they are
When
great.
I get some free time, I'll make you like a little like bat or a pumpkin plushie, and I'll send it to Granny for you.
Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. There was
Hey,
no such thing as
I will
Halloween.
support a Halloween year-round habit because
Yeah.
I mean, us Halloween people's got to stick together. Am I right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But no,
I'm
what I
sorry,
was going to say.
Just a second. I'm sorry, Robin. I when you said that, I thought you meant that you forgot them as in you didn't have them. That's why I skipped over to Kitty. I didn't mean to skip over you. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's a meeting of friends. It's
Yeah.
fine. So, one thing that you can do, if you're going to host a party, you've got, decorations covered, you've got the dessert covered. Finger foods are good, rather than sitting down. If you're having a party, having like munchy things, and there's lots of things you can do. You can make little like popcorn balls that you can then decorate, or, I mean, really, cookies, sugar cookies and royal icing, you can make them look any way you want. But one thing I'll say is you can make a virgin sangria with fruit juices and some fresh fruit, and you can make it spooky by just picking up a little bit of dry ice and tossing it into the bowl. And I can actually demonstrate what it'll look like with my vape. Like, I've got my juice here. This is actually cranberry pineapple, which is amazing. If you guys haven't had cranberry pineapple juice, it is so good. Pineapple's my favorite, and cranberries are good too, but pineapple's where it's at. But anyways.
Now, would you mix those two, like pineapple juice?
If you dry
Oh,
ice, it will look
Awesome.
like this. It will leave a layer of carbon dioxide, because that's what dry ice is. It's just, and it can actually make your drink a little bit bubbly, but you'll have this nice little like layer on top of smoke, so you can have your little cauldron of virgin sangria, or not virgin. I mean, hey, like if your guests are 21 and up, then spike that with some wine and you'd be good to go. But if there's kids around or anything, kids love stuff like this because it's spooky, it's different, and you can literally have your own little witch's cauldron that will look nice and spooky for your next Halloween party. Once the pandemic's over, if it's ever over.
yes, that will be quite a celebration.
Depends on where you live.
Florida. Enough said.
Yeah, nope.
I feel so sorry for you. There's some amazing stories that come out of your state. Some amazing stories.
I heard a Florida man's story that was actually good the other day. Apparently, a Florida man invented a 6-pack ring that is edible so that it would feed the animals instead of killing them. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
Finally, we have a good one. I'm not
That's-
originally from Florida, but we moved here when I was a kid, and my whole family's here now, essentially. So it's really hard to leave when, all the important people in your life are still here. But there was a good Florida man story, so.
That is cool.
It's the first
Okay.
positive one I've heard in a while.
Yep.
There has to be one at least.
I mean, usually it's like Florida man uses pet alligator to like rob a convenience store.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Pull the plug. I heard a Florida man pulled a plug on a floaty. Kids got hurt. Like, Florida man stories are lit. They're amazing.
I mean, honestly, like when we hear the stories like on the radio, they'll say, oh, like if there's a news report on the radio and you hear a man and they don't say where it's from yet, literally anybody in Florida is sitting there like, don't be Florida, don't be Florida. Like there was a Michigan man, I think, where his wife had cancer and he went and got busted buying drugs for her because she wanted to have like one last hurrah before she goes. And it was like in Michigan or something. So like they didn't say where he was from until the end. It's like, don't be Florida, don't be Florida, don't be Florida. And then it wasn't. And we were like, yay!
There
My
are crazy
hometown,
people in the
but-
rest of the country too.
No. you think that there's shows that have sections on Florida, like it came like coming from Florida?
I mean, there's actually the Daytona Beach News Journal has a section of their newspaper that is called Florida, D-U-H, and it is for
Oh,
Florida man
wow.
stories.
I read that. I read that.
Yeah,
Whenever
Florida
I
from the News Journal is it's amusing. Makes me sad that those people live and vote here, but it's amusing, Hey, like you
it's
gotta
best
laugh
to
so you don't cry, right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
best to be optimistic.
That's amazing.
Even where I live, I hear crazy stories, and I'm like, well, at least
How?
it didn't happen
Why?
around here. You
What?
know, it's strange. Where I live, there's a lot of people who are particular for one political candidate, and it doesn't reflect the rest of California. So people come to my town looking for trouble, and it's caused a lot of drama around here because most people aren't. It's a blue state, so if you wear a MAGA hat, you're a target in Southern California. Which I'm not endorsing in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying I live in a really red town, so I get stories. There's people have literally come from Arizona, Oregon, just to fight people in this town.
Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, I can disagree vehemently with somebody. And don't get me wrong, when I see somebody, like the person KC, like she tweeted out a picture, I think it was yesterday, and this house is the scariest house I've seen in a while because it's all Blue Lives Matter, the
I saw
Trump
that.
side. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna like inwardly roll my eyes at that person, and I shouldn't, but I'm probably gonna think a little bit less about them at this point. Like, I understand the people that voted for him early on, where it's like it's something different, it's a change. They just overlooked the bad, but at this point, it's kind of like.
Yeah,
So, like, but I'm not gonna say that they should be attacked or anything. You're free to believe whatever you want. Like, do you, as long as you're not hurting people. But
that's my thing. Like, for
you're
the
not
most
free
part,
from criticism. Like, nobody is.
Most people around here, because I'm from here, it's different. So if anyone says anything to me, I'm like, hey, you guys had to move to my town to become racist, But honestly, no one says anything. I think a lot of people, they get hyped up, but it's different when you see someone face to face. And honestly, in my neighborhood, I live around a lot of extremely Republican people, and we say hi to each other. If we have a problem, like even today, I got one of my trucks towed to go get it fixed, and the tow truck driver kind of tore out part of my neighbor's grass, and he's a total Trumper and an angry guy, and I apologized, and he moved on with his day. And so it didn't have to be this big ordeal of two people who one's a Republican, one's a Democrat. It just was two people who were like, I didn't like what happened. I said, I'll take care of it. And we moved on with our day, So,
yeah.
And where I live, I'm honestly probably one of the only people of color around here. And most people are nice to me. And if someone doesn't like me, they just keep their mouth shut, But it's California, so it's different. Like because of Twitter, I see stories and I'm like, wow, that would never go on around here. But it literally depends on where you live,
I mean, if more people could just like go about their business and not worry about what's going on with, that person or that person, I think the world would be a much better place. It's like you see something online you don't like, just keep scrolling. Like, why waste the energy, like going down that rabbit hole and, letting that toxicity live in your brain, like you don't need any of that. Like, you see something you don't like, unless it's like actually actively harming somebody, obviously, then, step in. But if somebody has a different opinion than you and you can think it's stupid, sure. And you might have valid criticism against it, but when it comes down to it, what do you really gain by going after people? Like, and I'm still guilty of it. Every now and again, I'll see somebody say something and I might jump in and say, well, here's, the actual facts about this, if it's misinformation, but I never let it get to a point of toxicity. If they start escalating toxicity, I'm out. It's not worth my time. You know, there's so much other stuff going on in the world to stress over that, you know, try to help people, be a decent person. And, you know, if someone's wrong, it's okay to point that out. But if they're not open to learning, then you can't force that. You can't change people for good or bad. You know, people have to want to change themselves, and you can try to help, but ultimately it's usually a fruitless endeavor.
Voltaire has a really good song about that. look up "Offended" by Voltaire. It's really good.
I try to think about the world.
When You're Evil is one of my favorite songs.
He makes good music. I've seen him live a couple of times.
I saw him when he came to Orlando during MegaCon. I saw him once.
That is someone I have never heard of. Voltaire.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm always down for new music, for new experiences. I'm always down for that. I've recently got into Australian like rock. You know,
Yeah.
He's from Cuba.
Awesome.
If you want, actually, well, yeah. But if you want weird music recommendations, I'm your guy. I listen to
Heck yeah.
really weird, obscure stuff from all around the globe.
Are
I'm
you
all
on
about
Discord, Robin?
Sort of, not really.
Well, I have to make sure to follow you on Twitter then. Are you at least there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
And Robin's Twitter is in the description of this video.
Awesome. Let me go snag that right now.
It's just Transformers. That is literally all my Twitter is. It's just Transformers.
That's cool.
Are you into the whole genre, or is there like a certain? Do you like watch the cartoons and the movies, or is there like a certain era that you're into?
No, I'm into like pretty much all of it. I haven't seen the live action movies yet. I collect the comics. I have 6 volumes of the G1 IDW stuff. I've seen G1. I watched all of Prime. I watched all of Cyberverse. I watched all of Animated. I've watched part of Armada.
Awesome.
I'm working my way through everything.
I'm trying to think of the shows that I'm a sci-fi geek, so I'm into all of that. But I'm more on the Star Trek side. Oh, sorry, Granny.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm just, we've been going for almost an hour and a half, and so I was just going to wind us down. And
Awesome.
so I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to shill for whatever they like. If you have a favorite person with something coming up and you want to shill for them, go for it. If you have something that you have in your life that you'd like to mention, go for it. Just mention anything that is coming up for either you or a friend that you would like us to know about. And Godless Sewing, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm Godless Sewing, and I'm going to be starting a series on the light subject of race and appearances. I just have to get around to editing my videos, and it's incorporating my lifestyle, and because of the fact that I grew up in the suburbs, I have a different view on what it is to be Black in America, or what it is to be even half Black or half Mexican, or and I speak Spanish as well, so I know when people are talking trash about me, so I have a different experience than I see a lot of people. So it's just one thing I just want to convey, no matter what happens to you, you can have inner peace in this life now, because that's all we have. So I'm gonna start making videos. I just have to get off my duff and do it. And I'm on Twitter. I have a non-active Instagram because, quite honestly, I went on Twitter and I got 200 followers within a month and a half, and it took me a year to get followers on Instagram. So I've switched over to Twitter.
Okay, Robin.
Yeah.
Would you like to show for what?
I said, what am I promoting?
Anything you want to. You can promote Transformers. You can tell people about a great anime, or you can just say so long. Whatever you like.
I mean, go subscribe to the Cursed Research Club comic and get one of these hoodies, because it's a good comic, I guess. I don't know. That's the only thing I can show for it. What am I reading right now? Go read Spy X Family. It's good.
Okay, very good. Jyuni.
Oh, yes. So, you can follow me on Twitter, subscribe to Twitter, at Jyuni H. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier today, is I do have a YouTube channel. There's actually two, but my main one now is the Jyuni the Apostate channel. Currently, what we're doing is, since we're in the spooky season, we're doing scary stories from people's experiences that they can leave their stories either through Twitter, through DMing me, or through an email. And then eventually, I'm going to transition out and doing some rebuttals and responding to like either Christian videos or other topics such as either politics and religion. And then, but yeah, it's mainly storytelling and analyzing through the eyes of others in my life.
Okay, very good. Kitty.
Well, anybody that's watching, I would hope that you are liked and sub to Godless Granny. Also, a friend of the channel, Godless Engineer and KC. They make amazing stuff. I'm not making content right now, so I'm going to shill the crap out of stuff for them. They make content like pretty much every day. And they're amazing, wonderful people. And you should definitely go like and subscribe and follow them on Twitter and all that fun stuff. Just be well, wear a mask, do good. Try to leave the world a little bit better than it was when you entered it, Be a decent person, don't be a dick. And happy Halloween.
Okay, very good. And what I have is I've got a video that's about half finished. I'll probably release it on Friday, and it is a response to Red Pen Logic, Standing for Reason. And it is on the topic of abortion. I saw something today that really bugged me, and Jennifer, you will be very interested in this because this is your area. There was an article in Huffington Post that the Ohio public schools are offering PragerU videos as extra credit, and they are encouraging students in the public schools to watch PragerU. And so I said, this is as bad as it gets. So I reached out to Hemet Mehta, and he is going to come on, and he and I are going to do a live stream to talk about, this horrible situation. And to accommodate his schedule, next week's live stream will be at 1 p.m. Let's make sure, is it 1 or 1:30? In the afternoon Central Time instead of in the evening, because that was the only time that he had available. And whoops, wrong thing. Come on. Yeah, 1 p.m. So the show will be at 1 next Tuesday. And then Mama Atheist and I are putting together our show on climate change. We've been wanting to do this for a bit, and it's finally coming together. From Mama Atheist and I will have a show on climate change coming up in about a week and a half.
Climate change is real, everybody.
Yes, climate change is most definitely real. And Mama Atheist is an expert on that topic.
If you don't believe it, it was like 90 degrees today when it should have been like 70. Should be freezing here right now, and it's still hot.
Yeah. So everyone, happy Halloween and live your life.
Happy Halloween.